of our viewers on Synergy TV, all of our viewers on Caribbean Showtime Television in Canada, to all of our listeners on U975 FM Multicultural Radio, a very warm welcome to another edition of the program Conversations with ZELISA, where we continue to inform, educate, empower, and answer those unanswered questions. Directing this morning and in Master Control, Hisham Costello and Ariane Malhotra. On behalf of our team, let's wish each and every one of you a blessed, beautiful day, Thursday, 29th June 2023. If you are celebrating a birthday today, happy birthday. If it's your anniversary, happy anniversary to you and yours. Let's quickly go to our quote for today, coming to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo, and it says, tomorrow is never promised, so love and appreciate the people who are in your life. Let me repeat this again. Tomorrow is never promised, so love and appreciate the people who are in your life. Do not take life for granted. Our quote came to us with the kind compliments of Fab India Expo. They are located opposite the Medford gas station in Chaguanas. It's the white dome, that large white tent. Remember, you could get all of your beautiful pieces, your clothing. You could get shoes, jewelry, matching jewelry, accessories, furniture pieces, not forgetting the food court. They've got a wonderful addition, and that, of course, is fresh juices. And I don't know what's happening there, but I'd like to get Fab India back, please. And so I don't know what's happening in production, but maybe God is divine intervention. The video that you are seeing was not supposed to be played at this time, but I don't know what happened with my team there this morning. Could you come bring me back, please? Today is a very trying day for us. And it's a trying day and a difficult day, and I hope my team is not going to make it any worse. Because we lost one of our very own here at U975 FM. One of my senior presenters who would do all of our outside broadcasts, Bhai Krish Singh, has passed. He's gone to the great beyond. He was really a very remarkable and wonderful person, with a loving nature, a kind heart, giving, and he's gone to the great beyond. So obviously today is not going to be a good day for me or our staff. We're all hurting, we're all broken. And I want to send out condolences to his beautiful wife, Auntie Sharma, his daughters, Amrita, Anita, Yogita, his sons-in-law, Nicholas and Ramzan, his grandchildren, pride and joy of his life, Yadevi, Ayush, and Nur Jayant. His family was really his pride and joy. The last meeting I had with him in office, when he walked in the office, he brought me a bag of mangoes, and I lit up when I saw him. Because I don't always get to see him, because he's the one who's in charge of doing our outside broadcasts. And when I got the news this morning, I was lost for words. But you know, as I came into office and everybody, all the staff are greeting me, because the word is out there, Hisham came into my office and he didn't know, and I told him. And he said, Ms. Z, I have a video of him. So the last time he was in office and he was going to do some ads for us, Hisham, I want to thank you for doing that, son. Because you see, you did that not knowing it was the last capture we would have had of him here in this office. So he was in production. Can I get that video of him, please?
So in the studio we have Mr.
And I want
Chris
an audio
Big up
because
yourself.
this is the sort of relationship
coolest
we
guys
have
I
with
know
each other.
since I
This is
started working
Hisham
here.
and by Chris
He's
Singh.
been nothing but
He was
cool
setting up
and
his mic to
such
do. You see
a
the
good
script is in
gentleman.
his
So big up
hand
yourself
there
inside the
to
studio
do some
today. We're going to
commercials
record
for us.
a Trinidad track
And
today.
Hisham was playing along with him, you know, just
How you feeling?
being himself, loving person he is.
Nice, nice, nice. I like that. So in the studio we have Mr. Chris Singh. Big up yourself. One of the coolest guys I know.
So that's our very own Chris Singh, by Chris Singh, gone to the great beyond, and of course condolences to his dear wife, his children, his grandchildren, family and friends near and far, and to my staff. I know you all are broken today. I myself am broken. But with the grace of God, we're very pleased to have with us a gentleman who is very instrumental in healing Orlando. When we say heal, helping us. And healing is probably the right word, because when it comes to crime, it's on our doorsteps. And I don't think any one of us are aware of, we must be aware of somebody who has been affected by crime. Mr. Darren Carmichael, of course, is a director of Crime Stoppers, and we're very pleased to have him with us today. And one of the things he's going to address and talk to us about today would be safety during ATM transactions. We're seeing a lot of the people being held up, especially the elderly. Welcome, sir.
Thank you. Good morning. And of course, let me extend condolences to the employee that you have lost, his family, friends, and of course all his, you know, all the people who he would have come into contact with over that time. I know it's a very tragic thing.
It is. It's very difficult. Only yesterday we were having a conversation, some very close staff members who were here because we were off air the day before and up till yesterday, until 3 o'clock. So we were talking about crash. I was talking about, you know, next week is going to be 2 years since my husband. So it's in the air. So, you know, everything is like a slap in the face.
Right.
You just feel broken. You can't help but feel broken when you are close to someone or somebody makes a difference, you know. But thanks for being here,
My
sir.
pleasure, my pleasure.
And, you know, as I was saying, crime is still like a running horse. We're hurting, we're bleeding in the country. And I know today you want to talk about, you know, especially ATMs. And we're seeing a lot of people are being victims of. And we saw that at the mall, the shooting there, and I'm thinking people go to the mall to pick up gifts, to take their kids, to go to the movies. We're not safe anymore.
Well, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we have been seeing an increase, an uptick in crime, as it were, particularly in some areas. And it's really where the criminals see an opportunity to get cash. So of necessity, you find that they will target areas where there's an abundance. And a lot of persons, particularly a particular mall in the east, I'll put it like that, we've been seeing where 80,000, 100,000, we're hearing now 200,000 persons who would have gone to these locations to make particularly over-the-counter transactions where they take a significant amount of cash. We have been seeing and continue to see persons who would go into the ATM fast deposits, and as well are being targeted and victimized. You know, we have to understand something, and when you see recurring incidents at a particular location, it tells you that, you know, just like the fishermen would go into the sea and they'll find an area, a particular geographic area where there's a good fishing, where the fishing is good, they tend to put GPS markers there. Right. I don't know the exact term for it. But it's really to tell them and others where the fishing is good, right? And what we're seeing is something similar to that. The fishing is good in those malls for the criminals.
Yeah.
And wherever the fishing is good, they will tend to repeat and go back because they would have succeeded. You know, crime, like running water, follows the path of least resistance. And the criminals identified that they are being able to go to these malls, lay wait, do their surveillance, target the intended victim and strike, and they're succeeding. So we have to, you know, individually and collectively, yes, we take some responsibility for how we conduct our affairs, But I don't want us to ever take the finger off of the criminals and the wrongdoers. Those bad actors who are the ones who are really to blame for all of this. You know, that's important.
Because, you know, we hear in conversation, people would make remarks, well, what are they taking out so much money for? But let's be fair here and honest. At the end of the day, it's their money. They know why they're doing that, and they're entitled to it because it's theirs.
Yeah. Not every situation, you know, lends itself to doing. I mean, while the recommended practices, the banks have expended so much time and energy and effort on technology to ensure that there is online payments, to ensure that we have opportunities to take cash out in various ways.
You're very correct. They're very innovative,
and
especially with
banks,
this online bank.
And a lot of banks, when you go to take out your own money, they will tell you sometimes, you know, wouldn't you like us to do it this way instead? Or wire transfer and so on. So the banks have been doing their part to try to sway people in terms of what, you know.
I agree. The banks have been doing their part. I mean, one of the things that the bank will do, sometimes I would issue a check. And they would call me first. Could you give me, you know, XYZ is here to, and I appreciate that because that makes me feel safer.
And they have been going above and beyond. I mean, in fact, we could probably start with this, where, I mean, given the state of these type of incidents, the Bankers Association of Trinidad and Tobago, I am aware from an article that was produced just recently, where they would have come together and actually do a press release informing persons about what is happening, giving guidance and directions in terms of how you should proceed with taking out your own money, as it were, and what are the safer methods to do that successfully, you know. So I've seen articles like that. I have seen them engage in public awareness campaigns, in fact contacting businesses and directing and informing businesses how they should conduct their affairs as well, all in an effort to really bring about that awareness that there's a problem and solutions in terms of how you can move forward as a business or a private entity in terms of moving and transacting your affairs within those banks. So the banks have come together, you know, they compete, and it's interesting. I spent about 14 years of my career in the banking and financial institution, you know, in the security field, and I know that where they compete for market share in the open space, but where security is concerned, there's a cohesiveness among all the banks, where they realize that if one person targets us, then they target all, because you know you'll be able to succeed if you continue. So they've had a lot of inroads that they do. There's an interbank security committee, so to speak, where all the banks are represented there, and again they discuss strategies and so on. So I know this topic would have been part of their course in terms of getting solutions and arriving at ways and means they could treat with the high incidence of these type of crimes.
Speaking of solutions, did you get yours? Did you get yours? Every home should have one of these. Every home, every office, every business place should have one of these. And I've got the mini in my purse. Otherwise, I forgot to bring it in. But I think it's, you know, our duty and responsibility. If we know something and we can help, it's my responsibility to tell you that you should have one of these, all right? And if you want to find out about inquiries on how to get one, I'll share the number when we return, all right? Let's go to these important messages in conversation this morning with Mr. Darrin Carmichael, who is Director at Crime Stoppers. So let's go to these messages.
Hello, Crime Stoppers?
This is Crime Stoppers. Please share only your crime information.
I want to report a crime, but I need to make sure it will not be traced back to me.
Caller, I assure you, there's no record of this call other than the information you give us and the tip number I assign you for you to call back and check on your reward. This system has worked in 26 countries for more than 40 years.
Help stop crime. Call Crime Stoppers at 800-TIPS today. Calls are safe and 100% anonymous.
Everything you get at Fabindia Expo is fabulous. It's one place where you can take your entire family. Shopping haven, multi-cuisine food court, arcade, or relax at our spa. Come to shop online. Fabindia Expo is now the biggest Indian expo with over 60,000 square feet of shopping area. We carry both Indian and Western garments. You can also check us out for Indian jewelry, Brazilian gold or modern jewelry, pure cotton bed sheets, over 200 curtain designs, bath mats, towels and so much more. Fabindia Expo is your one-stop shop. Be sure to check us out. We're located opposite Medford gas station, Shogunas. We're open daily 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. including weekends and public holidays. Fabindia Expo, closing on Monday 3rd July.
Super quality supermarket, best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Hoover Car Park, Hoover, 98 Endeavour Road, Shogunas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trincity. Super Quality Supermarket.
Welcome to OATS, Optimal Alternative Treatment Solutions Limited, the future of healthcare, which provides full body scans which we detect and treat cancer, tumors, all heart conditions, cysts, fibroids, dementia, Parkinson's, just to name a few. No radiation and medication is not needed. If you are tired of getting no results, call us at 354-4459 or 356-7226.
Welcome back to the program, Conversations with ZELISA. In conversation this morning with Mr. Darren Carmichael, who is a director at Crime Stoppers. They've been really very instrumental in helping solve a lot of the crime problems we're having in the country. And remember, if you know of something, you're aware of something that is illegal, that is wrong, then it is your duty and responsibility to act on it. All right? If not, you are encouraging it and you're being part of it. And so I promised to show you the little one that's normally in my purse. So there are 2 sizes. Make sure and get yours today. And you know, you could contact the Crime Watch in your area and they will advise you on how you could get it. If you want to get it, you know, you want to get a couple for your family. It's a nice gift idea. I thought of that the other day. It's a brilliant gift to give someone. I thought of that. I said, that's a great gift to give somebody, you know. Could save their life or the life of someone in the community, certainly. Welcome back, sir. So we started off talking basically about being aware of what's happening. We are aware crime is on our doorstep. It's at the point where we are all alarmed. There are people who there are people who packing up and leaving Trinidad and Tobago. There are business people who are taking their kids. They have to take their family apart. But that is a choice that they're making, taking their kids and sending them abroad with family and friends. They're tearing their family apart. But they're doing that for the safety of their family, you know. And so we all can't run. We all can't get up. We have to find the solutions to this crime situation. And I think you all are doing a marvelous part of it. And so today you started talking to us about the ATM and what's been happening that we all are aware of. The shootings at the various malls and places where we all go. You know, the supermarket, you can't tell yourself you're not going to the supermarket, but you could call Super Quality and they could deliver, you know, or pick up, curbside pickup, it's still in effect. So, you know, those are options that you have, but you can't run from life.
What we're doing is, you know, part of the thing is that, you know, I've spent a lot of time and on this program particularly, and again I thank you for the opportunity.
You're welcome, sir.
We've spent a lot of time speaking about neighborhoods and how neighborhoods could keep themselves safer. But we have to understand that many businesses, the mom and pop shops and the supermarkets, they're also part of the neighborhood. And therefore we extend the same security type training and guidance to businesses. So we call it Business Watch.
Very
all right,
nice.
and a lot of the towns, they have main shopping areas, main streets, Tunapuna, Sawa, right here, very busy on
Very
the
much
outskirts.
so, yeah.
And we try to extend the same knowledge and training to business persons. And along that line, this particular topic this morning, part of it is really taking the neighborhood watch principles that work and extending it to persons who have business, persons who would come to the banks with these large deposits and so on. So we also want to tell those persons, listen, there's a way to do it and to do it successfully.
Let's talk to those people today.
So really we want persons to understand that if you have, and I'll take my glasses off for this, if you have large deposits or you have transactions, and a lot of people sometimes have payroll, and we keep forgetting that. They may have workers at the premises, and these workers don't have another means to collect salaries and so on, like online or through banking or
exactly.
or ACA.
You're very correct. A lot of them people. That's a beautiful point you've just made there. There are people who don't have a bank account because it's very difficult. Do you know it's very difficult to open up an account?
We call them
now?
the unbanked, you know. Yeah. And a lot of those persons now have to rely on cash. So in the goodness of the heart, these business owners, sometimes it's a single owner, sometimes they don't have too much means, but they would go to the bank, withdraw the amount of cash to make those payments and so on, and take that risk on their own to bring it back to the workplace to make that payment. And we're saying that whilst this is noble and fine, we have to think on how are you going to do that effectively, providing it's unavoidable. All right. So what we want you to do is do a couple of things. One is we want you to plan ahead, identify where you're coming from, where you need to go, what are the dynamics of that particular bank or the space that you have to maneuver and operate within, and see how best you can navigate those scenarios safely. All right. It may mean that you would need to vary the days. You know, don't just wait until the 28th of the month every month to go, or the 24th or the 25th, or fixed days and times, because sometimes the employees themselves set you up.
Yeah.
Because if they know that on this day, every day religiously at 11 o'clock you leave to go to the bank, then that becomes your routine.
Yeah.
And it's predictable, right? So sometimes people look at you, they mark you, and they know exactly when you're going. So I'm saying it might mean that you may want to vary that time or that day so that you become less predictable in that respect. It may mean that you would want to also, it might mean investing, because sometimes security companies offer cash in transit services, what we call CIT.
And if you'll allow me, because you've been part of the system, so you know as well, it's quite affordable, you know.
$300, $400 for the most, you know.
It's not expensive at all. When you think some people lime and they make one wrongs and they waste money. And I'm just saying, you know, they buy alcohol that's so expensive, or they smoke things that are not, you know.
But I'm saying, look at it from in perspective of the value of that service. Even if it's $1,000, I'm just being ridiculous now, right?
It's actually,
because it's a one-time pickup, so they may have different fees. But I'm saying, even if it's $1,000 and you are moving 100,000, and bear in mind,
no, you're correct.
More than likely that sum of money is uninsured.
Yeah.
So there's no way of getting it back.
No, the fact is, it is very affordable, and it's a safe option.
Right, so persons doing that type of thing do it at their own peril. It's uninsured. You can't get insurance just for the day you're moving, something like that. And certainly, if you take a service, then you have the money is insured.
Exactly,
while it's in those person's hands.
Your life or your employees or your family life is not at risk.
And that is the other point I was coming at.
Oh gosh.
The person's life who is doing that service, whether it's yourself or somebody, some employee.
Exactly.
You are now putting them at grave risk for transporting that thing. So, you know, we ask that you find an alternative means. And the alternatives could be, like I said, creating the cash in transit. Even if you hire security personnel to walk with you or go with you during that period, that's another option.
Yes.
And of course, the third, and I think one of the best options is really, you know, ideally if you can use, the banks again have facilitated online payments. There are many different ways you can facilitate that type of thing. Providing that you can have no alternative, then of course the cash becomes king. But you know, wherever you can, the online payment is the best option. Transfers, ACH payments and so on into salaries may be the best option, all right? And people can get guidance in terms of how they can become into opening accounts and so on. So I suggest that they sit with their bankers, look at the scenario, and come up at some middle point or middle ground where they can be safe and they can get and achieve the objectives. In addition to just payments and salaries, there are some people who still do large cash transactions. So they're going to purchase something and the person wants it in cash. They're going to buy or invest in something and the person wants it in cash. Now, cash is always a red flag in my mind. So one has to be careful who they do business with that is requiring a cash payment, because they themselves could be setting you up. As we know, there are cases where people are going to buy vehicles, going to do certain things with products and so on, and the same persons who are selling the product set them up. All right, so you have that scenario to face as well. So we want to look at all of these things in a nutshell, but outside of the planning and so on, we ask you to please listen to social media. A lot of these things are on social media. It's in the newspaper, it's on the news, the police are speaking about it, and you know, one cannot say that they haven't heard of the many instances where persons are being robbed, right? So if you were to only take that alone and say, listen, I need to do something because it's a prevalent situation and so on, I don't think no amount of looking and observing could really make you identify the person who might be at a distance monitoring you, all right? So we have that to deal with as well.
Right.
A lot of the times, I'm hearing persons are also blaming the teller or the person in the bank.
We hear it, yes,
being in collusion. Like I said, I've worked in the bank for 14 plus years. And, you know, we sometimes overlook the fact that within the space where the person is collecting that cash, if you're the counter and somebody is sitting, and some banks have you sitting and waiting with a chit in your hand to go forward. Some of them still line up in that snake line or the queue. And, you know, someone would get to the counter and you would hear the machine, that cash counting machine going continuously.
You're very
you know,
correct.
24 seconds of that is about $10,000.
Yeah.
Right?
You're very
So if you were to
correct.
listen to that over a period of time, you realize that this person is taking out a lot of
Some
money.
money there.
You know? And you know, so we have to understand that the cash counting machines, they're not silent, and people sitting or standing in the line would hear this.
And they're observant.
And they're observant.
And sometimes you may not be taking out money, but you may be depositing.
As well.
And
So
you get
you're
set
still-
up
you're
easily
still a
because you
target because
because people
it means
feel
that-
you taking that money.
Yeah, as well.
Yeah.
But either way, you know, if you bring that kind of money to the bank, I mean, we could also mark you for the next occasion.
You're very correct.
So we have to look at that scenario particularly, because as it is rationally, we have to understand that people sit in the audience.
Yeah.
Sometimes you sit there and you change your mind from doing that transaction.
Yeah.
So what is to stop a colleague of the criminal from coming in, taking a chit and sitting and observing, waiting, taking photographs, and so on. So you have all of that to look at as a possibility. And if that wasn't bad enough, sometimes you don't need to hear them interact on the counter. You can sometimes sit in the banking hall and you may see a sign that says private banking or commercial teller. And it means that persons going to there with even larger sums.
Very correct.
And they may go in with a bag dragging and come back out with it empty, or they may go in with their hands swinging and come back out with something.
That's
so
correct.
people are not, people observe. And the criminals particularly, they observe, they share information, they network. So it's kind of easy to determine, even without collusion with any banker, to identify persons who may be bringing large sums to the bank. So again, I say that the banks have many different means by which you can achieve that. You know, there are night deposit and there are night deposit bags and contracts that they can take
Correct.
out. And those deposits are fairly relatively safe to do. And there are a number of other ways, other means that they can achieve this. Like I said, doing a lot of different online type banking. You know, pretty soon, I mean, the way they have it designed, brick and mortar banks will soon get smaller and smaller in terms of space, and sometimes non-existent. We're getting there.
We're getting there.
But persons need to come on board, and there are a lot of people who still feel that if I can feel the cash and I can see it, then I have it. You know, it doesn't have to be that way. You know, you don't have to keep the money under your mattress anymore.
No.
The banks offer a lot of range of services by which you can do that.
And you invite in trouble by doing that.
Definitely. And I want to underscore that the banks as well, from a safety perspective, you know, there are a lot of strategies that are in place to ensure a person's safety within the banking hall and that space, simply because there are times when if I were to sit in the bank and I'm here to be doing nothing, you will very well soon see a customer service agent very nicely come and say, "Hi, good day, how can I help you today?"
But that's happening already.
Yeah, and they're really targeting you because of a couple of reasons. One is you look like you're not sure what you want to do, right? And also, if there's a threat on the banking floor, on the space, we want to know early. So the officer may not come and approach you, the security officer, but somebody who, because one of the things I tell people all the time, as a civilian, and particularly in business or wherever you are, one of the best challenges you could make to somebody who is up to no good is, "Excuse me, how may I help you?" That forces the person to think, make up something. They're caught.
You're very
right?
correct.
So now you have to give a reason or rationalize why you are there.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So very powerful words. "Excuse me, how may I help you?" And those persons
Very
are customer
true.
service agents who are observing person's behavior. Sometimes it might be simple as you're in the line and then you tell somebody else, "You go ahead. I just have to finish fill out a form."
With that, hold that thought. That's a very good point you've raised there. We've got to go to some messages. Let's go to these important messages. When we return, we continue our conversation with Mr. Darrin Carmichael, Director at Crime Stoppers. And of course, when we return, you can send your WhatsApp messages, anything to do with crime, any questions you may have. Mr. Carmichael will be more than happy to address those concerns. You can even call us at 384-7142. When we return, stay with us.
Before you choose a life of crime, know that the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago are fed up of you. More than 22,000 have already provided anonymous tips to Crime Stoppers, leading to countless arrests and convictions. You will never know who they are, but with Crime Stoppers' anonymous tipster system, everyone will soon know you. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 800-TIPS today.
Visit Agri Savers Limited, number 19 Orange Grove Trace, St. Augustine, for all your agriculture, livestock, pet, agri-equipment, hydroponics, cannabis, fishing tackle supplies, and much more. Open Monday to Friday 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. and Saturdays 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. Contact 473-6074, 663-1094. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Therapeutic treatments and tutoring by Nandi, certified occupational massage therapist and reflexologist, specialized in all types of therapeutic treatments like massages, reflexology, medicopping, detoxification, sinus drainage, body analysis scans, supplements, and much more. Call or WhatsApp today at 320-7256 or 323-2060. Tile Expression Limited, the #1 leader in tiles. Large stock, unbeatable prices, wide variety of porcelain tiles, ceramic tiles, wall and floor tiles, residential and commercial, granite and quartz countertops. Best quality from Spain, Italy, Brazil, India and China. Tile Expression Limited, conveniently located Monroe Road, Kunapir. Telephone 693-0015 or 223-TILE. Passage to Asia, the award-winning restaurant and banquet suite located in the heart of Chaguanas, the best fusion food restaurant in Trinidad and Tobago. From the second you enter to the moment you leave, you will be treated like royalty. Come, dine in luxury and enjoy the finest combination of Asian cuisine prepared by skilled and qualified chefs at Passage to Asia. The experience is truly unforgettable. Perfect for families, couples, and large groups. Passage to Asia, located at St. Ives Street, Chaguanas. Contact 672-2701. Also, visit us on Facebook and Instagram.
You know me. This is Bo Tiwari, and I want to invite you to a wonderful one-hour show, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Monday. Freedom Monday is what it is, and I invite you to join me with my guests, people who know what they are talking about on issues that matter to you and to others, and on important issues of the day in Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, and the world. Please join me for Freedom Monday. Bo Tiwari, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Monday starting Monday, 10th July. So join me on U97.5 FM Multicultural Radio and Conversations with ZELISA on Synergy TV.
Conversations with ZELISA. I'm in conversation this morning with Mr. Darrin Carmichael, Director at Crime Stoppers. And of course, I want to remind you, if you may have any questions, any concerns, you would like to call in and speak to Mr. Carmichael, you're welcome to do so at 384-7142. That's 384-7142. Let me please remind you, when you are calling, take down the volume on your television. If you're listening to us via radio, please take the volume down on your radio before you call. And of course, you could have that one-on-one conversation with Mr. Carmichael. All right, so please feel free to call us, 384-7142, or you could send a WhatsApp message. I'll read it to him. Welcome back, sir.
Yeah.
You were making some brilliant points with regards to the bank and citizens.
Yeah. So what happens is the bank monitor all types of behavior.
Right.
All right. So the person who is in line, for instance.
We're getting some insight here.
Well, it's about education, right?
Exactly.
So the person who is inside and lining up and allowing somebody to skip ahead of them all the time, that movement is suspicious.
It is.
And you know, just as we tell persons in the community, you have an obligation to look out for two things. One is the presence of the unusual, and of course, the flip side of that is the absence of the usual. You know, so for instance, you know, somebody's coming to do banking and so on. There might be certain things that they will do and the way they conduct themselves, and you know, and if that behavior is different, then of course it raises a red flag.
Yeah.
All right, and the person to interact more than likely would be a teller. Sorry, a customer service agent. All right, and of course they will come and ask you, like I said politely, excuse me, how can I help you today? And they would go a step further, because sometimes you may be, you know, giving off a vibe. Who knows? I don't want to say it's suspicious, because a lot of people come in, all types, all walks come into these facilities. So what the idea is, hey, if I can take you and lead you to the front and treat with you, then that's one less thing for us to worry about. You know, so it's like the low-hanging fruit. If somebody is there and you know they present a little unease, then what we do is we facilitate getting you out faster to get your business done and conducted, so we could then move on again. All right, so you find that there are a number of little strategies that are in place to help minimize all of those things.
Very nice.
But what the banks do particularly is really try to find ways by which they can communicate with things. So there are a lot of public awareness campaigns that they do. There are a lot of training programs that they run with their teams, with businesses, to make it easier for them to conduct, you know, business and so on. And that in a nutshell, minimizes the impact. Another critical thing that happens is that the police, of course, by now, the police have already been brought in to these scenarios. And of course, they may be working with the banks and so on, between looking at CCTV footage and surveillance footage, which already exists in the car parks and surrounding areas.
Excellent.
In most of these areas, the mall security and the mall security infrastructure has, guards for the general mall areas, there are camera systems and so on. So there's a way by which the police could now do targeted surveillance, right? If it is that there's an increase or uptick in crime, then of course there ought to be that kind of surveillance looking out for these potential criminals.
The thing is, Mr. Carmichael, is that let's be aware. We are all aware that there are cameras and put things in place, but yet we are still seeing this sort of barbaric behavior.
It's the same things that we are asking, and I'm challenging the community, of Trin City, for instance, and some of the areas in Arima and so on where this is taking place and Central. You, the community, are the eyes and ears of law enforcement.
Yeah.
You are the ones going to the banks.
Yeah.
You're the ones going to the mall and the shopping areas, right? I want you to extend that. If you see something, say something concept, not just from your neighborhood, but bring it to the mall, in the car park, while you're parking, while you're moving around. If you observe suspicious vehicles, persons parked close to you, they are as much a threat to you as they are to anyone else.
Definitely.
Right? So we want persons in those areas to be the eyes and ears of law enforcement, just as you would raise an alarm about something in your community, in your neighborhood watch chat. Bear in mind that the police is also on your neighborhood watch chat. So even if you go to the mall, which might be a couple miles away from where you actually reside, you want to send a message in the chat, raise an awareness, or call the police if need be, that listen, you observe a strange vehicle, 2 men, it's idling, it's awkward, it's unusual, you feel uncomfortable, and let them investigate and analyze. Because sometimes your little observation will go a long way, right? In terms of being, looking out for those dangers. So we want all communities, all residents, wherever you are, lend that extra bit of observance. You possess the eyes and the ears and that sixth sense that will tell you that something is wrong. So I want us to really utilize that.
We do have a discerning spirit,
of course.
We do have a discerning spirit. And like I said initially when we started the program, if you are aware of something, you have that discerning feeling, you have knowledge, you see something with someone, and you keep it to yourself. You're not doing anything by that. You're being part of it and allowing it to happen. Prevention is better than cure, and we all have to be our brother's keeper.
Your sixth sense is your body telling you that something is wrong, and to act on it. And it's the same. It's the same spirit that may have caused the employee to take the last, video footage of your.
You're correct.
So something told him, listen, let me start the recording. Let me capture this moment. And I'm asking everyone to don't ignore that sixth sense, right? That is something that is telling us something is wrong. Whether that sixth sense or that intuition caused you to be late, there might be a reason why you're running late. It's not to speed up to be there on time, but just understand that there may be a reason that somebody is telling you, listen, take their time. It might be telling you to vary your route, or to stop to get something, or to assist someone in and so on. So we need to sometimes follow that gut and work it to our advantage, really, because really the criminal elements out there, they are relentless. We know a few things about them. They're driven, they're motivated, they're committed, they're focused, they're well-resourced, they're relentless, and to some extent they seem to be operating with impunity. Nobody could touch them, all right? So we have to kind of like change that script on them. And
like a lawless country, that's how I feel sometimes.
The 5 of them, or the 2 gangs that are disrupting the Trin City area and so on, with this kind of activity, we have to put a stop to that. All right? And of course, we are the ones to assist the police. The police really can't be everywhere. Right? They can't assign resources just to look at this one area in a bubble, when there are a number of areas simultaneously being targeted.
The blame game has to stop. It has to stop. I really feel genuinely that the police, how much they're overburdened. They're overburdened, that's the fact at the end of the day. And so we have a responsibility and duty as citizens as well. That's how I feel.
Yeah, definitely.
And it has nothing to do, I know that local elections, it's in the air and everybody pointing fingers and using it to their ability, but it's not about red or yellow. What it's about is what's happening in our country and what is right. And we need to stop this blame game and stop using that as you follow.
Yeah. So we'd really like to hear from the public, I think,
sure.
when we probably the next
when
segment.
we return, we've got to take a quick break. When we return after these important messages, again, please feel free to call us, 3847-142. Let's hear what you have to say. Let's hear your thoughts. How do you feel? What are your thoughts about crime? Or if you want to ask Mr. Carmichael about crime stoppers and how they could help you and how they could come out into your communities, into your area, then you have the opportunity to do this when we return. Stay with us.
Before you choose a life of crime, know that the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago are fed up of you. More than 22,000 have already provided anonymous tips to Crime Stoppers, leading to countless arrests and convictions. You will never know who they are, but with Crime Stoppers' anonymous tipster system, everyone will soon know you. Call Crime Stoppers anonymously at 800 TIPS today.
Everything you get at Fabindia Expo is fabulous. It's one place where you can take your entire family. Shop in Haven, multi-cuisine food court, arcade, or relax at our spa. Come to shop online. Fabindia Expo is now the biggest Indian expo with over 60,000 square feet of shopping area. We carry both Indian and Western garments. You can also check us out for Indian jewelry, Brazilian gold or modern jewelry, pure cotton bed sheets, over 200 curtain designs, bath mats, towels, and so much more. Fabindia Expo is your one-stop shop. Be sure to check us out. We're located opposite Medford Gas Station, Shogunas. We're open daily, 11 a.m. to 9 p.m., including weekends and public holidays. Fabindia Expo, closing on Monday, 3rd July.
Super quality supermarket. Best quality and great prices. Get your fresh fruits, vegetables and meats. It's a one-stop shop for the most affordable groceries, baby items, kitchen supplies, bathroom accessories, car care supplies, pet food, toys and lots more, all at Super Quality Supermarket. Wide aisles, fully air-conditioned and secured parking. 3 locations nationwide: Hoover Car Park, Hoover, 98 Endeavour Road, Shogunas, and 47 Tissue Drive, Trin-City. Super Quality Supermarket.
You know me. This is Bo Tiwari, and I want to invite you to a wonderful 1-hour show, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Monday. Freedom Monday is what it is, and I invite you to join me with my guests, people who know what they are talking about on issues that matter to you and to others, and on important issues of the day in Trinidad and Tobago, the Caribbean, and the world. Please join me for Freedom Monday. Bo Tiwari, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. every Monday starting Monday, 10th July. So join me on U97.5 FM Multicultural Radio and Conversations with ZELISA on Synergy TV.
Welcome back. Reminding you, you can call us at 384-7142. That's 384-7142. Your questions, concerns, comments, please feel free to give us a call. A gentle reminder, just take the volume down on your television or the volume down on your radio if you're listening to us, yeah? Welcome back, sir. In conversation with Mr. Darrin Carmichael, a director at Crime Stoppers. Welcome back. And I know we are talking about, you know, crime, we're talking about preventative measures, things we could do to be aware, to be a little more. Okay, may I take this call, please? Good morning and welcome. Hello. Good morning and welcome.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm watching your show here and just listening to certain things. First thing I want to find out about Trinity Mall. Trinity Mall does not have security because we are basically there like nearly every other Saturday. So there's no security there. And what I want to find out, you're talking about police, you're talking about, see something, say something.
Right.
We went to City Mall just a couple of Saturdays ago.
Right.
And I'm sitting with my family.
Yeah.
And there came up 3 young boys.
Yeah.
3 young boys in army 3/4 pants, black jerseys, 10 pound of gold chain around their neck, rings on the finger, but they're in army pants.
Right. And that's
And
illegal.
they're young boys. They're like 17, 18, 19. I looked at my cousins and said, we are sitting in the food area. I said, this is not a place for us to sit. Because if that army pants is against the law to wear, and you are not in the army, how are you walking around with it with 10 pound of gold chain around your neck? And we don't have the laws. If they're coming in the mall, the first thing there's supposed to be some sort of security by the door saying, are you in the army? You must have an ID card stating you're there.
I
16 years, the law is not there. And they're walking in the mall. Another guy came up to them and laughed with them. And then, if you see how they're watching, I said to my cousins, we need to get out of here because this is not safe. These people cannot be behind your back.
Yeah.
And you can see they are watching people in the food court. They're watching people.
Well,
they're not in the army.
Yeah, I thank you.
Where's our laws?
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. Yeah, I understand what you're saying, and I totally understand what you're saying. Thank you for your contribution. We'll talk. Welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm calling from Grenada, and I just wanted to say something to the director today that I think they...
Sure, sir. It's nice to have Grenada with us this morning. Welcome to the program, sir. Thank you. I'd just like to ask you to, can you please speak up a little bit, please, so that we can hear and understand what you're saying?
The show is very informative.
Thank you.
I am a former commissioner of police, and I enjoy the safety tips that he's doing. I just wanted to say that to him,
Thank you, sir.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
We do appreciate that, sir. Thank you. And thanks for looking at the show. I'm happy to know that...
I just want him to know that, I am also a former member of the Trinidad and Tobago Regiment.
Okay.
So I do have connection with Trinidad.
Thank you,
I really
sir.
enjoy looking at the show and seeing some of the measures that he is putting forward.
Thank you,
I can
sir.
relate to it.
We appreciate this very much, and we thank you for your contribution as well.
Your service.
Your service. God bless you, and thank you. And to all in our company in Grenada, welcome and thank you. Have a great day, sir, and thanks for your call. Hello, welcome to the program. Hello? Okay, somebody's live, but unfortunately. I know I could understand her point, and I would like to say to the relevant authorities of all, not just, I'm not going to single out Trinity Mall, it's just that we are aware of what transpired. But I truly believe it is the duty and responsibility of the management of all of the malls or any business place to ensure that safety mechanisms are in place.
Safety
I believe we are also at a point where yes, you should have security searching and checking before, because we go there thinking it's a safe place for our family or our lives, and it's not. We are, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning. I'm calling from the Chunapuna area.
You're calling from where, sir? Can you speak up, please?
I'm calling from the Chunapuna area.
Chunapuna, yes, sir.
I have a comment to make.
Please.
Is that right?
Sure.
What happened then? I want to make a withdrawal deposit from a bank. I'll call him back.
No, don't. Right, good.
call it bank?
No.
Okay, but it was a large sum of money, right?
Okay.
$200,000 I was going to withdraw.
You were going to withdraw, right?
And when I went to the bank, well, you have to go to apply for the money and go back tomorrow for it. And only just work in that with that one.
Okay, with that sum you need to yes.
So when I went to the teller and we made the arrangement and everything, and the guy told me, come tomorrow, 3 o'clock. So we agree and everything. And when I reached home, I tell my wife, me and my wife went, I say, look, I have a wrong feeling about this. Why did you tell me come tomorrow 3 o'clock for that money? I said, no, you're not going 3 o'clock. We went in the bank 11 o'clock. Right? The money was ready for us in the bank.
Now, may I ask, you wanted cash, right?
We wanted cash.
Why the option not, I'm just asking, because you can't have a certified check.
Yeah.
Did you want cash for a particular reason, if I may ask?
No, they wanted to give us check, but you see, we need money to pay out for.
Okay, no problem. I understand. You don't need to go. It's an option. I just want to let people know you could ask for a certified check. Go right.
Yeah. When we were talking about next day, no, this bank have one line. It's going one thing. Advance. They go to the end. When we went to the bank, we went to the teller next to this guy who we met yesterday. So I told the fella, see, I was seeing about him yesterday. So okay, we see about him. I went and I called the manager and I said, well, look, the money I want, and I need to get the money.
We're breaking up, yeah. Sir, unfortunately, the problem is we can't hear what you're saying properly. You're breaking up, and I humbly apologize for having to abort the call. But perhaps if you could call us back and, take
But is it that you're saying that he would have gone to the bank, called the bank, and they given a sort of an appointment?
He said he went home. Well, the teller told him to come at a particular time.
Yeah.
He found he was speculating. He told his wife, I find that kind of fishy. So they did not go that time. They went 11 o'clock the following day. I did not get to understand what he was. It was very muffled. And that's about what I heard. I think they went into private banking or something of this sort. But as I did ask him.
But what it is of course, it's by an appointment. So there would have been other persons who have slots, so to speak.
Good morning and welcome.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning.
Could you tell me where can I get those blue ones to buy, the small ones?
This right?
Yeah.
What area?
Do you have a neighborhood watch group in your area?
Hello?
Do you have a neighborhood watch group in your area?
Yes.
All right. So if you can contact, most of the neighborhood watch groups have established contacts how they can get air horns from, persons closer to them and so on. If you can contact that group, and if you don't have a group, you can contact me, and I will probably direct you on that.
Give me your number. I'll get the head of the group, and he will speak with you.
Yeah, because certainly if I know the group, more than likely I would be in the group already. The number is 312-2281. 312-2281. 2281. All right.
Do you have the small ones too?
Yeah, we'll be able to contact you to establish how you can get them.
All right. Okay.
No problem.
I'll get the head of the group.
Sure.
Good. 312-2281. That's Mr. Carmichael's number. Please, I know he's been bombarded with calls. And he's very accommodating, but he could guide you accordingly where you can get them. There are two sizes, and like I started saying, every household, every business should have one. Every lady in particular in your purse should have. It's a nice size. One more call. And yes, welcome to the program. Quickly, please.
Okay, I will make this a damn not check. I think I who called this.
Right, we have 1 minute. 1 minute.
Okay, what was happening is that the teller in the bank set me up. Because when he asked us if we had security, we said no, we will carry the money ourselves, right? But remember, he told us to come 3 o'clock the next day, and we went 11 o'clock. Collect the money. We realized that we noticed a car behind me coming down, so we stopped. one-way road and things, and we let the car pass. And then as the road...
Unfortunately, I have to abort again, but in my humble suggestion is in a situation like this, where you speculate in the car and you feel somebody falling, you drive straight into a police station. That's what I could say.
Yeah.
I want to thank you, sir. Always, I am grateful. As you could see, our thoughts are coming fast and furious. I want to thank you for your great work, your contribution, and we look forward to seeing you next week, yeah?
Yeah, definitely. I just want to say one thing. The Neighborhood Crime Watch program, it continues, and we ask people and encourage persons to keep coming on board, contact us. The Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce has to be thanked for the, for starting this program 24 plus years ago, and of course keeping it driving as it does throughout the communities. Contact us 312-2281 if you want to have a neighborhood watch group meeting in your area. This evening I'm in Milton in Couva.
Right.
The Milton development in Couva. There have been some activity and upspike in crime there, and we ask persons to set up your meeting and let's have them going.
So to get a meeting, 312-2281, 312-2281. I thank you all kindly. This is where we're going to wrap things up. I don't know what's happening with my director, but this is where I say thank you. Please be good, law-abiding citizens. Respect the law of the land. Here's reminding you that with God all things are possible. I am ZELISA Budu Singh Rupani. Thank you so much for choosing us.